This episode of Capes and Lunatic Sidekicks is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. To get awesome headphones, go to tweakedaudio.com and use the coupon code Southgate to get 30% off, free shipping, and a lifetime warranty. Or you can get there through the link on our website, southgatemediagroup.com.
This is Luca Perich, and you are listening to the Capes and the Lunatic Sidekicks podcast.
I'm here for Peter.
Well, you're in luck, Lil Coldfire. We got a 2-for-1 special today. Welcome back.
Hey-o!
Welcome back to the Ultimate Spider Cast. Settle down, Lil Coldfire. Anyway, welcome back. I am Phil, and as I said, joining me as always.
Hey y'all, it's Lil Coldfire.
A.k.a. the Black Cat.
Sure.
Or are you more of a Mary Jane?
I'm here for Gwen.
That's be my next guest.
Maybe sometimes even Betty.
That home
Depending on how you feel.
That home record. Anyway, tonight we're going to start our first episode of our alien costume special. Once again, stay tuned at the end of the episode for more Ron Frenz discussion.
And if you want to hear the whole interview, please be sure to check out our YouTube channel.
That's right. Because tonight we're covering Amazing Spider-Man 252 and Marvel Team Up 141. Amazing 252, the actual first appearance of the alien costume. Secret Wars number 8 was the chronological first appearance, but this hit the stands first. Amazing 252. So, yes.
You know you have to hit the nerd button for yourself on that one, right?
I guess so. What? It's just simple math.
It's just simple comic book math.
Of course, Lord Hellfire.
Bazinga.
That was a very Sheldon moment.
I'm surprised they didn't bring it up on Big Bang Theory, although they mostly talk DC Comics. I think they had a thing with Marvel. Like, I don't know if Marvel...
Because it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
true.
So.
That's right. That's right.
Although they did the Stan Lee episode, so...
Well, Stan Lee surpasses
yes,
all.
he does.
Excelsior.
Anyway. Oh, and also, besides the Ron Frenz at the end, we also have Ray feedback, so...
Ooh!
Audio
Who
feedback.
could it be now?
Oh, Lord.
Wait a minute. That's not Men at Work. That's the only Australian band I know.
You crazy girl. Alright, so, should we jump into these?
Oh, yeah.
I believe both of these are from May 1984. So it's
Sigh.
an older vintage than Lil Hellfire, as Ray would say. But young Master Ray and I were 6 years old at this point. Good Lord.
This cover is,
What the
I don't know, man.
What, the 252?
It doesn't really grab me. Yeah. Get it? Doesn't grab me.
Oh, okay. Because, well, it's like an homage to Amazing Fantasy number 15.
Yeah. Like, I the first time I saw the black suit, I was, like, not excited. I'm not a fan of Secret Wars, so...
Oh, yeah, well, that was a whole big, selling some toys.
Yeah, so...
I mean, Shooter wrote it himself. What do you think was going on? He's making some bang.
So I always felt very conflicted. Now, I ended up loving it, of course, but the first time I was just like, what the hell is this all about?
I came to it years later. I think after I read these Spider-Man issues, I was like, "Oh wait, so the suit first showed up in Secret Wars? I gotta read that." But yes. So anyway, yes.
Not even the animated Spider-Man and X-Men TV shows could make me love Secret Wars. That's all that I'm saying.
Well, they were smaller versions. I thought you were going to say that suit. Spider-Man in the black suit. I want you to the ends of the earth. But anyway, yes.
It's a really slow start, too.
Oh, yeah, because this is, Amazing 252 is basically just set up because it's like, well, last year during our first annual Hobgobble Gobble month, we covered Amazing 251 when Peter went through the portal to the battle world. So
yeah,
252 picks up with the Robbie and Jonah talking about all the missing heroes. You know,
Baby Bugle. I think Jonah's secretly maybe Jonah's really Mephisto. I don't know. Somebody close to Peter's really Mephisto. It's not Uncle Ben. It's gonna be Jonah.
So if you want this was continued from last year's Hobgobble Gobble month.
Gobble gobble. Don't forget to put that link in the show notes then.
Okay. And yes, so where are they now? Big headline.
It's almost like they disappeared in a crisis of some sort.
A crisis, you say? Although Secret Wars came first. Thank you.
I know.
Yeah, so you see the heroes left behind, Vision, Scarlet Witch, Mockingbird. I don't think she's pictured here, but yes, the Invisible Woman was very pregnant. Franklin Richards.
Franklin Richards is such a BA.
That he's probably his own grandfather.
I love Jonah. He's like, Rob. He's like, oh, the paper looks good, but only one problem. You never once confronted the question of Spider-Man's involvement. Is he behind the whole thing? And isn't this the one? I think it's the one where he says, this could have used more pictures, and he's like, oh, I couldn't get a hold of.
But pizza down.
Oh my lord! He says it again, Lilith. Remember, we covered the Firelord issues. Why didn't you have any photos by Peter Parker? This sort of thing is usually his meat. Again with the meat. What is this?
Out of the gooch.
What is this hang up with meat? Is this like written by Lilith Hellfire?
Out of the gooch. You would think.
It's fine.
Maybe that's subtext I never thought of.
It's fine having a sausage fest.
But then cut to Central Park, where the Beyonder structure was, and it reappears, and we get a black suited figure jumping out with Kurt Connors.
What? Homecoming? Wait a minute.
Oh, wait a minute.
Let's just knock on all the nostalgia. It's fine.
Oh, we did it. We really did it. We got through. Whew, I can't believe we survived that. And if you want to know what we survived, go read the 12-issue miniseries that's just starting now.
Exactly.
So,
Spider-Man's out here doing the old Yahoo email call for no reason.
Yeah, because once he realizes they're back on Earth, jumps up. He's jumping off police cars. The cops are like, "Who are you anyway?" Me, I'm Spider-Man. And
he's kissing cops.
What is he, Lilith Hellfire getting out of a traffic ticket? What?
My sweet summer child.
He might be listening.
They? What?
You don't look a thing like Spider-Man. Want some answers?
Yeah, because superheroes never change their costumes. So, yes, so he disarms the cop by shooting webbing out of the back of his hand. What?
Yeah. But at that exact instant, the bizarre construct flares again, and look who's there.
The Avengers! Because Pete's like, all right, Doc, maybe we should skedaddle before anyone gets a picture of your face, because these damn photographers...
Yeah, how's it feel, buddy? When it's not you taking your own selfies, how does it feel?
Because I'm not a photographer. Suck.
Well, he's really not. We all know that, and they've been calling him out lately about it, and I'm living for it, to be honest.
Yes. So they're swinging through the trees, and Peter's telling Kurt Connors about, Reed Richards said we shouldn't talk about what we saw. No one would believe the story anyway.
Unless...
but even I find it hard to imagine that anyone like the Beyonder could really exist.
Hey, if this makes you a little bit curious, pick up Marvel's Superhero Secret Wars.
That's right. I love Connors. You're right. We should keep silent, but I'll never forget. So Pete's looking for his clothes, which he left in the tree last issue, again, which we covered in November. He finds a birds have made it into a bird's nest.
What's that tingling in his pelvis?
Whoa. Yeah, that's weird. Like, the costume opens a thing because at least his wallet and keys are still there, but he puts it at, what, above his junk? What?
It's at junk level, yes.
It's just...
Yeah, wow. I don't think I'll ever get used to that stunt. Agreed, homie.
So Lilith Hellfire says about crotch stunts. Hey-oh. This costume possesses...
honestly, when's the last time you cared about Connors? Like, honestly, when's the last time we've actually cared about this character? Was it this story?
I don't know. Was it when he ate his kid? I don't know.
Oh, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
I wish more people would eat their crotch goblins. It would be fine.
Damn.
No offense. No offense to the breeders out there. I apologize.
You're cold, man.
Caring for another human being that isn't myself? Ugh. The worst.
Yeah, so Peter takes Connors home, and hey, look, Billy's
How old is that son, by the way?
Say, Billy
he changed ages more than Franklin Richards, to be honest.
I know, man. He looks like a teenager here. Oh, look.
No ginger jeans for you, young man.
Look in his Peter Parker starter kit sweater vest.
Exactly.
So everyone's all huggy and kissy, and then Spider-Man swings off. Can it be? Do my eyes deceive me? Is this really the bathroom skylight which opens to the home without celebrated world-famous galaxy-hopping freelance photographer Peter Parker?
Oh yeah, that suit went to his head. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so he drops through the skylight, and then...
This room has a desperate need for air freshener. Somebody's been pooping.
Oh, my lord. I forgot to flush before I left for a week.
Yikes.
But again, pimping the miniseries. There were some bad moments in the last few days when I was convinced I'd never see this old homestead again. Like that time Galactus almost stepped on me. What?
Ooh, Galactus!
Again,
God.
For comic capers or something, eventually we're going to have to cover Secret Wars and get Charlie Esser in on this.
Yes, I concur.
Maybe for like a big... I think it's in January of 2021. Comic Capers is going to hit 100.
Done.
Maybe Charlie Esser, see if we can wrangle a Ray or somebody. Yeah.
Everybody's going to want in on Secret Wars.
I know.
So it is 12 parts, so we could probably rotate maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. True that. And then he's like, hey, the costume's responding to my thoughts again. Because he just makes
Weird.
This makes it look like a black...
No!
Makes it look like a black shirt and pants. He's like,
my face hasn't seen a razor in days.
Oh my gosh, I haven't spoken to Aunt May in over a week. Then,
one frantic dial later.
On the landline.
Ooh, that's rotary phone right there, homie.
Yeah, it's 84.
That's the heavy one you can knock somebody out with. Not that I have experience with that, of course.
No. So Aunt May's like, oh, where have you been? Where have you been? It's been ages since you called. And he's like, oh, sorry, I was called out of town unexpectedly on an assignment. I didn't get a chance to stop by or call.
Dinner? We'll have some buckwheat pancakes.
Wheaty cakes, Petey. Sunday dinner, I'd love to join you, but only if I can bring dessert.
Oh, Nathan's gonna be there.
Or as Aunt May calls them, Hot Wheels.
Oh! He's not Professor X. Calm down.
You just moved.
Or was he?
Nah, he would have got taken out by the vulture if he was. So next he's trying to call his lady the Black Cat. Because hey, I've been out of
Sup,
town.
Felicia?
I've been out of town for a week.
Hey, it's time we straighten this wacky relationship of ours.
Because
she ain't got time for you. You can't leave a girl like Felicia Hardy on the line for a week.
Yeah,
Just
but
saying, she ain't got time.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Peter's thinking, while they were cooling their heels on an alien planet, the Human Torch and Captain America, see, more heavy hitters, pick up that series, but they were telling Spider-Man how Black Cat's been racing around town trying to get superpowers.
Well, and succeeding.
That's right. So, while he goes out to get something to eat, Black Cat, coincidentally, Black Cat drops to the skylight. He's still not home?
A shapely silhouette steals across his bathroom skylight. Really? That's the yellow square we're going for? Okay, it's fine.
So wait a second. So she's thinking about how the Kingpin's science boys did some experiments. They managed to release and enhance some pretty funky latent superpowers that I never realized I had. So is she a mutant?
Seems like. I don't think that's canon anymore, though, right?
I don't think, but I mean, so
I do like this version of Black Cat, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like the current version too. Kind of that stuff in the middle, when she was dating Flash Thompson.
Anybody who dates Flash deserves what they get. That's all I'm
looking
saying.
at you, Betty Brant. I wouldn't date me neither.
If I was you, I wouldn't want to date him neither. Oh, baby Joe Manganiello, the gift that keeps on giving.
You wish. Anyway, so yeah, Black Cat. So since she is so impatient and doesn't know he's home, she takes off as Peter's coming home with the pizza, extra green peppers and anchovies.
Anchovies are great, man. Just gotta have like mushrooms and extra cheese over it. That's all.
Peter's thinking, oh, everything looks great to me, even the bums on the street.
His camera, oh, look how sleek and small it is for 1984.
Popping out of his pelvis.
Stuff's got to stop popping out of his crotch, though. Like I can't focus on this issue with stuff popping out of his crotch. I can't do it.
Leave Mayday alone. Hey-oh.
That's funny. I don't care who you are.
Okay, Lil's the cable guy.
I've got some film to develop. Looks like you got more than film to develop. You might want to go call a doctor about the stuff popping out of your crotch, homie. Just a thought.
Yes, because that's right. This is before the age of digital, so he has to go in his bathroom darkroom.
Hey, what is this, Stranger Things? It's the only show I know with like an actual dark room. So,
and we don't get to see what's on the pictures, but he's like, "Oh my lord, no one can see these."
We see one picture.
What?
Don't we? Don't we see one picture to tantalize our imagination? No, I guess we don't.
I don't believe so. No. Because I'm trying to remember. I mean, stay tuned at the end of this episode. But I believe Ron Frenz said they really didn't even give him tell him. He didn't see any image. I don't know if he really saw that many images. I don't know if he even could have drawn one.
Well, he could have drawn just Captain America.
True. We shouldn't burden the public with what happened to us out there, but you can burden yourself if you buy the 12-issue limited series.
But Morpheus steadfastly refuses to embrace him.
That the Funko, what a poet.
Poor kid can't sleep.
I may never sleep again. Here's the other thing, though, with those pictures, even if he had decided to publish them, how do you explain, does Peter say, oh, I got grabbed with all the heroes?
Dun.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. At this point, though, honestly, it's kind of a Batman. We all know. We just pretend.
I slipped Spider-Man my camera, so here, you pay me. I'll make sure Spider-Man gets his money. So yeah, he can't sleep, so he's thinking about web slinging.
That costume looks like a shark on the floor, or a stingray or something. I'm just saying.
Well, it's a predator.
Exactly. Clue, here's your hint, kids. Snake light. It slithers across the room, and snakes can't be up to any good. Me personally, I see the shape of an armadillo, but that's probably just me.
Yes, because the minute he thinks about web swinging, the costume slides across the room and slides on him. And again, he doesn't need clothes because of the symbiote, but at least he's still wearing underwear because you want at least a layer.
You don't know where that slithering symbiote's been.
You always want a layer of protection between an alien and your junk. So,
just ask Sigourney Weaver.
Hey-oh. That's Lois Lane. Hey-oh.
Ooh. Well, that kind of can penetrate anything. So you just, pump and pray, homie. Pump and pray.
Don't fire us, Rob. We'll get into the uses of kryptonite now. So Spider-Man swings off and sees a mugging.
Give me your wallet, Mac. Really? What is this, 1941? Did he go through a time travel? Is this Inspector Gadget?
Yeah, see? Give me that wallet, see? Or we'll make with the chin music, see?
Look, he's even got the little, briefcase. Inspector Gadget. Do-do-do-do-do.
Well, it's either a guy coming home from work or he's carrying diamonds or something. I don't know.
Look at this guy's face in the third panel. What?
Well, yeah, because Spider-Man scares off the mugger, but he also scares off the victim because, again...
Why does he keep saying Yahoo? What is this? I don't understand.
Because he's happy to be home. You didn't think he was going to get off that alien planet.
Is that what you guys said in the 80s? Yahoo a lot, really?
I didn't, but like I said, when this issue came out, I was 6, so...
Wheezy? Is this the Jeffersons in the middle of a fight?
Yeah, but it's a white girl named Wheezy. Justin and Wheezy.
Justin. Blech.
What? You've had a bad experience?
Sorry if your name's Justin, but you should be a Family Guy.
Justin,
have to be a Family Guy fan to get it.
Justin Timberlake would like a word with you.
You mean Danielle would like a word with me? Oh, that reminds me. Last week I played 2 hours of Backstreet Boys at work, and only the one girl came up to me. She's like, "Excuse me, you could at least play one NSYNC song," and I'm like, "Get out! You're fired."
I'll have to tell her that. So what are you fighting about? Spider-Man's asking them, these two teenagers fighting. He promised to take me to a concert tonight, but he backed out at the last minute. Well, he's still here. That's what
it ain't my fault. I couldn't get tickets.
I was counting on this.
They must be trying to go to see New Kids on the Block because he says they're pretty lame. I'm kidding. I'm a New Kids on the Block fan. I'm kidding.
No, she said it was her favorite group, Burnt Toast.
I don't blame them.
So Pete's like, take a breather. It's stupid to be fighting, especially when you have so much to live for.
Take your own advice, Spider-Man.
Me and Wheezy live in this neighborhood and it stinks. You got nothing.
Hey, it's web swinging time. We get another mention of that one.
Yeah. After he says there's worse places than this neighborhood or this planet. Huh?
They really want you to buy that damn 12-issue miniseries.
Oh yeah, this thing was such an ad for Secret Wars. What are we doing up here? Why don't you get a bird's eye view of this city, your city? Talking about the beauty of the city and...
Unless you're in Staten.
Oh.
Fight me, Staten Island.
Look at the beauty. Look at the beauty of this magnificent city. We can't even see New Jersey from here.
Charlie's gonna have several words with you, Phil.
It's Spider-Man. He's listening to this. There's no auto in this story.
True. You're right. You're right.
So that's what you've got going for you. It's a lot more than you think. And I guess he got through to Wheezy because Wheezy's like, thanks for the ride, mister. I know Justin really hated it, but I had a good time.
Hey, you guessed it, true believer. This is just our sneaky way of giving you a bonus pinup of the webhead in his nifty new costume. Hope you like it.
That's right. A Ron Frenz splash page to end it, yes.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Dun, dun, dun.
I I don't know. The art feels classic, but that dialogue,
Well,
tough.
and again, I mean, it's kind of tough because I mean there was like no action either. Really.
But we've had issues with Spider-Man like that where it's just because he is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, so it's kind of like going around his city, admiring it, being thankful to be alive and back from that ordeal. We get to see the new suit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when you think about it, I mean, the issue's like 36 years old or 34 years old or something.
He's old.
Yep.
But I still love the art, definitely. Like that's what always sticks out in this issue to me.
Oh yeah, that Ron Frenz stuff, yes. All right, and then meanwhile, because some of the scenes in part 2 will overlap with Amazing Spider-Man, but Marvel Tales 141 featuring Spider-Man and Daredevil, and oh hey, plus because she was in the last issue, and hey. Now we can tag it because that movie's coming up. Black Widow.
I mean, those trailers have not excited me. I'm just saying.
Black Widow? How dare you?
Yeah.
I said, man.
I'm sorry.
Did you see that trailer this week? With
I actually I still kind of like ScarJo, unlike a lot of people. So I don't know. It just feels so ill-timed.
Yeah, they should have.
It's like they didn't strike while the iron was hot.
They should have did it earlier, but no, the trailer we got this week, the whole scene with Taskmaster flipping the shield up with his foot. I'm like, oh, I'm so glad Chris Evans' stunt double's getting work. Still getting work. Full face mask, man. It's like, yeah, you stunt guys, man. You still pay. Don't worry. But no, the New Mutants thing snuck up on me because I saw commercial during Black Lightning. I was like, April 3rd. I'm like, what, already? What?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been pushed back so many times that I was just like, I'll believe it when I'm at a theater actually watching it, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, there's no skin in that game.
Oh no, that's like Charlie was even saying. It's like, Disney didn't.
I'm just like, why didn't they just put it on Disney Plus at that point?
Exactly.
They don't want to take Disney Plus, I guess.
But again, like Charlie said, Disney didn't pay for it, so if it makes money, hooray! But if it don't, oh well, we ain't losing nothing.
Yeah,
that was all Fox. All right, so Marvel Team Up 141. Oh, DeFalco plotted this one also, but Owsley script and Greg LaRocque pencil breakdowns. Mike Esposito finished art. It starts with a suspect in custody after last issue. What's this, for a murder and kidnapping? And the guy says he didn't do it. And of course, Matt Murdock, human lie detectors, like whatever else he might have done, he's not guilty of the pawnbroker's murder. So that's what Murdoch tells everyone. Yeah, I think he's innocent. Oh, and hey, look, who does he run into? Ben Urich. And then they remind you that Ben Urich figured out...
He's not being as sketchy as he could be, so, let's all just be thankful.
I know, but they remind us that Ben Urich figured out Matt Murdock is Daredevil.
He figured out everybody's business. Let's just put it to you that way.
I know, he just did.
He's a busybody.
But then we get a breakdown of last issue, because Ben Urich's like, let me see if I got this straight. That blackout 2 nights ago touched off a mini riot at a local pawn shop. Spider-Man intervened too late to protect the pawnbroker from a bullet fired by someone hidden within the crowd. Based on circumstantial evidence, your client, one Juan Santiago, was picked out of that crowd.
Juan Santiago, you say?
Profiling, you say? Okay.
Exactly. It was New York in the 80s, to be fair. So,
in charge,
little too truthful, a little too close to home.
Yes.
They're cutting a little deep.
And charged with the crime, you yourself were pressed into defending the young man. The cops had circumstantial evidence and lots of, and it's even in quotes, eyewitness testimony.
Yes, because even in the 80s, we all knew eyewitness testimony was garbage.
Mm-hmm. You enlisted the aid of your ex-girlfriend, Natasha Romanoff, a.k.a. the Black Widow, to track down the street gang that was the primary catalyst in the pawn shop looting and that your client claimed was behind all this false testimony. At this point, enter our boy Howard Coolbreeze McNeil. Jeez. Owner of the alleged murder weapon.
Wow. Imagine having a name like that. Just imagine.
But then we see Spider-Man bringing him in. But then Matt's like, yeah, the gun didn't check out. We can't pin the murder on him. And Ben's getting coffee because I guess he can't smoke in the courthouse.
Oh, the good old days.
Just like a little hellfire. And I have a feeling you know the boy's innocent, just as you know your client is innocent. You could probably find a way to pin this rap on either of them if you wanted to, but you won't be satisfied until you find. And he's like, Matt? I hate it when he pulls a Batman on me. Next we see Daredevil swinging off the rooftops.
Thwip?
No, he's not even using a billy club, man. He's just parkouring it.
Parkour!
So we see him thinking, explaining stuff. There's a murderer still running around loose, and I hate that.
Well, it's New York, so get in line, homie.
Yes. And then he's thinking, where is Spider-Man anyway? He took such an active interest in the case and then disappeared. Could his disappearance be connected to that of all the other heroes who have turned up missing? Strange things are brewing, and once again, another...
When you're jealous, you didn't get to go.
Yep, because we get another editor's note for Marvel Superhero Secret Wars issues 1 and 2 on sale now. And he's going to go to the gang's HQ. And then we see Black Widow in the back of a limo. What is that, her handler?
Glamorous.
Yes. Oh, she wore a fur coat, too.
You better work, girlfriend. You better get it.
Hey-o. Stay tuned for part 1 of our four episode Black Widow special on Comic Capers episode 76. I'll be tuning in with the rest of you. What does that mean? Stay tuned. Keep it in your pants, Lilith. That's all I gotta say. Anyway.
I know.
All right.
Just tell him don't wear a tank top.
I think she just gave it away. Who could Lilith Hellfire be talking about? I don't know.
I thought they were Boston Pizza owners.
I don't know.
You know, it could have been anyone. I'm just saying. Nobody can wear a tank top. Nobody. It's fine.
No. So Black Widow goes in the pawn shop. She sees a bunch of punks moving stuff. And she's like, what did you do? Where's the owner? And we see a guy. Frank Arnold comes out. Says he's the new owner. I bought the pawn shop and what was left of the inventory. These boys are merely helping me unpack.
So convincing.
I know.
Such truth.
She's like, do you always employ gangsters? Well, miss, somebody's got to help these disadvantaged kids. If we don't give them a chance to turn their lives around, who will? So, I'm just doing my part as an after-school special. I understand that a man is dead, Mr. Arnold. An innocent young man will pay for that crime unless I can produce the real killer, who I'm betting is one of your disadvantaged kids. So she throws out that threat, and one of the guys is like, Mr. Arnold. She's like, shh, later. Widow's even thinking Arnold knows who the killer is, but how to make him talk? But then meanwhile, at the gang's hideout,
No, I think that was the wrong sound effect.
Well, no, at the gang's hideout, Daredevil's busting heads. The Black Widow led me to believe you guys were so much tougher. I'm going to have to speak to her about this. You guys are sloppy, ill-prepared, no plan, no skill, and you fold easily. I'm unimpressed. What is this? Again, Lilith Hellfire on a date?
Yay, man. Pride cometh before a fall. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, guys. Show me how bad you are. Pretend I'm one of those old ladies you roll for their social security checks.
Damn! Now this is some sass mouth right here.
Oh, or the helpless young girls you drag off to secluded alleyways.
Whoa. What is this, Weinstein interview? What?
23 years.
Thank goodness. Not enough.
Point me towards the brave one who blew away Zelnick, the pawnbroker, and let an innocent kid take the blame for it.
He is mad, homie.
He picks up one guy, says, sing to me. Sure, man, whatever you say. And then we see the Kingpin training in his tower, wearing slippers and what could best be described as a blue diaper.
Not his best look. We're not gonna lie.
Slippers. Oh my lord! And then Matt's talking to Juan. As Juan's in an interrogation room building a house of cards. Get it? The house of cards is gonna crumble.
Oh!
So he's like, did they tell Daredevil who shot the dude? No. Life is freaked up, you know? Life gets tough.
Frack is a curse word, was not invented yet. It's fine.
It's a medical term. Then some smart behind blind man comes along and tears it all down. Matt, Zelnick was your fence, wasn't he? You and your gang ripped off your neighbors and sold the stuff to him. Okay, so I wasn't a Boy Scout. Yeah, we did a few stick-ups, but I didn't off Zelnick. I know. Well, in that case, start doing your job and minding your business. Then later, at Matt Murdock's Midtown townhouse, where he meets the Black Widow, before Kingpin blows it up.
Such a waste.
That's what he told me to do. Do my job and mind my business. I wanted to quit. So I want to see justice done and my client protected. Even though he's a mugger, muggers have rights too, Natasha. Not in Russia.
Mother Russia.
I think I can help solve your mystery. There's a Mr. Frank Arnold involved in all this. I'm sure he knows who killed the pawnbroker. And the old, huh? You didn't say. You didn't ask.
Ugh.
All right, and just so you don't forget whose book and whose podcast this is, page 13, we go back to Central Park for, once again, remember the guy with the thermos from Amazing Spider-Man 252? Well, he's getting interviewed on TV now.
Yay!
Basically talking about, hey, that big space thing reappeared, and it was glowing and humming, and suddenly... Oh, wait a second.
Wait, what? That does not sound.
It was glowing and humming, and suddenly, and we again in flashbacks this time see Spider-Man and Connors coming out of the construct again. So we see him get the guy's thermos, get Connors a drink, and again, Will's favorite, yahoo, we're back. And then he took off, and them Avenger people showed up. Them Avenger people showed up. And again, we see Spider-Man up in the trees trying to find his clothes. And then we see Spider-Man swinging Connors off to home. And again, we get the editor's note. For the fuller account of Spider-Man and the Doc's return, see Amazing 252. And to find out more about where they've been... If you haven't got it yet, go see Marvel Superhero Secret Wars.
Give us money!
But now we finally get Peter at the Daily Bugle the next day. After his talk with Wheezy. After the pizza, after Wheezy, we get the Daily Bugle the next day. And he's singing, "Oh, I'm looking over my dead dog Rover." What? Ben Urich, what's shaking, Podna?
Urich!
What up, Podna? I just blew into town. Hey, Peter Parker, where have you been? On a planet in a far distant galaxy fighting for the salvation of the universe? And Urich, oh, by the way, do you remember that Santiago kid? The one up on a murder rap? Yeah, I shot some pics of him. Didn't Spider-Man find the real killer and get Santiago off? Nope. Turns out the other guy was clean. It's fact, square one. And now Peter disappears on Ben Urich. Get it? And Peter's thinking... Dumb. I thought this mess was all cleared up before I was zapped into a never land. They're still going to lock up an innocent kid. So yeah, so around the time he was dealing with that, and the Hobgoblin. whatever was going on in Spectacular. So we see, hey, look, all he has to do is like stand where no one can see him, and the costume changes itself.
Fancy.
This suit is great.
He's a fancy man. That's all I'm saying.
You think so? You think he's a fancy man? Are you a fancy man?
I'm not a fancy man.
But then he jumps off the roof and he's like, is this the one where he's like, he forgot the webbing comes out of the top of his hand? I don't think it is. But there's one issue. He's like, oh, I forgot. It comes out the top. Maybe after I wrap up this Santiago kit, I should roll up the rest of my old Spidey outfits and dribble them into the nearest Goodwill deposit box. That way, underprivileged kids worldwide can slip into one of my old outfits and be instantly persecuted by old publishers with crew cuts. But then we see Spider-Man swing off to the law offices of Nelson and Murdoch. So you know where this is going. Foggy.
Poor Foggy, the most underappreciated person, I swear.
True.
He's like you.
Me
and Charlie just show up and look pretty and expect you to do everything. You're the Foggy. I'm sorry.
Fine, go off and get beat up, little hellfire. I'll stay here and keep the business running.
Basically.
So they're talking about the case, and he comes in the window. Foggy's like, who are you? Come on, you must have seen me before. Ace crime fighter, I know millions, well, maybe thousands. Name starts with an S.
No, not ringing the bell. Sorry, buddy.
I know. It's like, come on, Nelson, don't play dumb. Who else can stick the walls like this? The Black Widow, the Fly, the Beetle. Arrgh.
Anybody that's got a bug power, basically.
He's like, Becky, Foggy, I think it's Spider-Man in a silly outfit. Give the lady a biscuit?
Is he calling her what I think he's calling her?
I don't know.
Phrasing.
That's a little tough to overlook, but okay.
She's smooth like butter. Give her a biscuit. My partner is busy on a case. I was hoping we could compare notes, but since Murdoch's not here, I'll just have to handle it on my own. Oh yeah, this is before he learns Matt Murdoch is Daredevil, which was undone by the Mind Wipe. Thank you, Mephisto. I have to record myself. Mephisto!
We're back to Mephisto.
Mephisto. If you find
Marvel really wants Mephisto to be a thing now, for sure, though.
Oh, this is such an 80s book. If you find Matt along the way, remind him that he's got one or two paying clients, too, you know. E.T. Phone Home.
Hey! I get that reference.
So Spider-Man swings off. Great. No Murdoch. No chance to get a quickie briefing on what went wrong with this case. Guess I'll check out that goon's hideout. See if anyone wants to chit-chat. She called my new outfit silly looking. Sister, that hairdo of yours gave me a real charge, too. Okay.
Exactly.
She's in a wheelchair. Leave her alone. Then we see Daredevil and the Black Widow. Natasha, how can we be sure this Arnold guy knows something? Magic. Come again. I didn't survive by all these years by not being able to read people. There's something about a man who squirms like that.
Phrasing? Natasha is a bully in bed, confirmed. Just saying.
Dominant. But then they meet a man. Who is that man? He's called the Arranger. He's one of the Kingpin's men. The
Arranger. Worst villain name ever.
Well, yeah. Well, he gets killed, don't worry. You make deals with the Kingpin, that's going to come and bite you in the butt. Or blow up your townhouse, or try to kill you in a cab. Anyway, then we see Spider-Man checking the hideout. Very interesting. The gang's loading a lot of stuff from their headquarters to take it somewhere. What's interesting is stuff that they're packing looks an awful like the goods that were stolen from Zelnick's pawn shop during that riot. And of course, I could be wrong, and Gary Coleman could be a KKK high druid.
What were they smoking, and do they still have some to send to me?
Wouldn't it have been easier to compare Gary Coleman, who is pretty short, to like a basketball player or something?
A Harlem Globetrotter, because that was all the rage in the 80s?
Thank you. If you wanted to do Gary Coleman thing, yes.
Somebody don't know the sports. It's fine.
Gary
Okay.
Coleman's no Meadowlark Lemon, okay?
Rest his soul, by the way.
Yes.
Remember when he tried to run for mayor? That was adorable.
So we see Arnold and the boys. Okay, I made a mistake. I thought having you boys stock the shelves in broad daylight would throw off suspicion when you filtered in the stolen stuff. No good, man. We had Daredevil break up our crib today. We don't want hassle from that guy.
They're what? They're what?
Crib, Lilith Hellfire.
They're what? I'm sorry. I should not be that person. I apologize.
They're crib, Lilith Hellfire.
Yeah, that's about right.
Let me see. Excuse me, Mr. Arnold. Spider sense going off. Jack Zelnick was one of the Kingpin's key men in this area. He's found out you're the guy who popped him.
Uh-oh.
Me, kill Zelnick, you got no evidence. Mr. Arnold, the Kingpin, he don't need no evidence.
And somebody needed an education, but we'll move on.
Hey, who needs a high school diploma when the Kingpin's paying you good money?
Ain't gonna last very long. You're gonna get popped.
Zelnick was our key fence down here. He moved a lot of merchandise for a lot of people. I bought a lamp for my ma from him once.
Thank you for unnecessary background,
Yes.
young sir.
He wanted in, tried to buy in a couple times. The Kingpin's got records. Kingpin keeps records?
Oh yeah, I could see that. Kind of a control freak.
Zelnick wouldn't sell, so you offed him. No. But then he's like, okay, I admit it. I killed him. He wouldn't sell. We would have been partners. I never wanted him to die. Night of the ride, I was drinking. I don't know where I got that gun. Again, little Hellfire dialogue.
No. I'm a responsible gun owner.
That's true. You know where the gun comes from when you're drinking. Yeah, that's what I know.
Exactly. From my crotch out of a black suit.
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm just trying to be like Spidey, man. Out of the gooch. And never has that drop been more relevant. Thank you, Phil. Party in the front and the back.
Please don't kill me. I'll do anything. Glad you said that. That's when Spider-Man jumps in. Sorry, fella, but you're standing in a no blowing away zone.
Oh, that suit's messing with his brain. His
No.
one-liners aren't so good.
Now go home and write, I must not impersonate Humphrey Bogart 1,000 times. So...
Humphrey Bogart. There's a reference for the young people in 1984.
So Spider-Man has to beat on the thugs, and then, hey, look, they were ahead of their time. Hey, Arnold.
Oh! Where's Helga?
Oh, good lord.
Wait, they're all Stoop kids. It all makes sense now.
Yep. But then Daredevil jumps in. Hold it, Spider-Man. Hey, Daredevil, all right, let's the two of us take these jokers. Back off, Web Slinger. These men are...
Jokers? 3 jokers?
Oh, good lord, don't even start that.
Can't help myself.
We'll see what comes first. 3 jokers or Batman Catwoman #1.
Oh, did you want me to spoil Batman and Catwoman for you Friday?
What? You know when it's coming? Phrasing.
Approximately. The cover date, at least.
Yes, I know, June, but what year? All right.
20 never.
We'll talk about this offline. All right. Oh no, you'll have to break that breaking news on Capes and Lunatics. These men are under my protection. The Kingpin's men, weren't they? We're about to shoot Arnold. I suppose that's okay with you too. You've ruined everything, and you're acting strange, pal. I think you need your horns rotated. as Arnold's trying to get away, he's caught by the Black Widow. Pulls out his gun. It won't do you any good. You can hand it to me or I will take it from you. Otherwise, you can come with me to jail or you can stay and deal with the Kingpin's wrath. Your move. So, of course, he surrenders. But then Daredevil explains to Spider-Man, Arnold never would have confessed without the Kingpin's influence. Now he has. Santiago gets justice. The Kingpin gets even with Arnold. That was the deal I made with the Kingpin. It's like, deal? We made a deal? I don't know about you, D. I love... See, Matt Murdock can never be holier than thou anymore. I mean, he's a lawyer, he's a vigilante, and at this point he's making deals with Kingpin.
He's having his cake and eating it too, man.
I don't know about you, DD. For a guy as straight as you, that was a real strange thing to do in the name of justice. I guess you didn't feel like you had much choice but going to the Kingpin. We're supposed to be the good guys, remember? I would never go to a figure of absolute evil and make a deal. Daredevil, how dare you? How dare you make a deal with a human mobster? You know, some would say the personification of evil, a devil, if you will.
Mephisto?
I know, that's what I'm saying. Spider-Man's giving him smack for making deals with the Kingpin. Oh, wait, about 2 decades.
Time makes a hypocrite of us all. It's fine.
Yes, I know. So, Matt gets one guy off. He's free. But on the street, you're still on your own. Your ex-gang will still be after your tail. So we see Matt and Natasha talking on the courtroom steps, and Spider-Man looking on from the rooftops. All's well that I hate cliches.
Well, you're a walking one, so hate to break that to you, buddy.
Oh! And the last line. Maybe a little hard on Daredevil. We're both on the same side, but gee, I wonder why he never said anything about my new suit.
Oh!
Blind
How
joke?
dare you!
A blind joke?
Wow!
That would have been funny if Daredevil would just have been like, do you have an animal on you? What are you...
Right?
It's moving.
What is that smell?
Did your suit just poop?
It should smell different, right?
Did your suit just poop on the sidewalk? Good Lord.
Is your skin literally crawling?
Like you crawl on walls? Is your skin crawling? Alright. So, I know, corny dialogue, Lilith Hellfire, but what did you think?
I like that they sprinkled in Black Widow. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, they
Keep
kind
it
of...
from being such a damn sausage fest.
It's alright to have a sausage fest. Oh, I mean, it's fine.
It's fine having a sausage fest.
Thank you. Quote me correctly.
But, you know, they kind of had to do that for, you know, because he was coming back from Secret Wars and all that jazz.
And we got to mention that Secret Wars every single place we can.
Oh yeah, 2 issues, and we got what? At least 4 or 5. They're like, hey, go pick up Secret
reference.
Wars.
Yeah.
And then the subtle ones. So, all right, hey, you want to hear some Ray feedback? I know you do.
Yes, please.
All right, here's Ray from Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast, Last Sons of Krypton podcast, and again. Keep plugging it, but the last Tuesday of every month, it is a sausage fest here. Is me, Ray, and Matt talk some Scarlet Spider. So, a growing Spider-Man expert, Ray, on these issues. Here we go.
Hello, Phil and Lilith. This is Ray, just giving some feedback for the Amazing Spider-Man 252 and Marvel Team Up. Gosh, I don't have it on me. I think it's 141. Anyway, really enjoyable. I enjoyed 252 more than Marvel Team Up. Marvel Team Up had a kind of a different flavour. It was very street level, which I don't mind. But I guess I was expecting more of Spidey in it. But truth be told, though, Spidey in it was hilarious. I found the quips that Spidey had in his black suit, I think over both issues, to be absolutely hilarious. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there are some things he called Daredevil, just really smart-ass comments, which I found hilarious. And also this, I guess, obsession that everyone comment on his suit, especially towards the end of Marvel Team Up, was pretty funny. Also, yeah, I think it's quite interesting in context with everything else. I mean, with Secret Wars, the Avengers and all the heroes had disappeared. It was great to see Spidey come in with Dr. Connors, and I love that tie-in between the two of the issues kind of overlapping, and the perspective of the guy with the thermos. I like that kind of continuity between the two. I mean, the Team Up obviously references Amazing Spider-Man 252, but a very enjoyable issues. I found as I mentioned, 252 a lot easier and fun to read than the second one, Marvel Team Up. Though, it was good to see. Obviously, good to see Daredevil. Is one of my favourites, and Black Widow. But very cool. I'm wondering what you guys thought of it as well. It's first time I've read it, and both of them are very kind of dated by today's standards. But I loved the Ron Frenz art, actually. And having said that as well, I did love the art in Marvel Team Up as well. I'm just trying to remember who that gentleman was. Can't think of it, but he's a very, very familiar name. Anyway, I'm sure you'll pick me up on that. But both, art for both. Actually, Ron Frenz's art is brilliant. I love it. Actually, for this instance, the two, I actually preferred the one in Marvel Team Up. I thought that's pretty much, I think, where Frenz art eventuates towards the end, like when he matures a bit more, because I'm just thinking of his work in Thor, the later runs of Thor, and it's kind of that very classic style. So, anyway, those are my thoughts, and can't wait to hear yours. Catch up.
So yes, that was the Mighty Ray. See, he enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
And
I think I actually enjoyed the second story more, though.
The second one more?
There's a little more going on, yeah.
Oh yeah, a little more action, of course, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the Friends art better, but yeah, I think the story in the Marvel Team Up, but yeah, like I said, a little more action. It's almost like one big story.
But solid cash grab stories. You get your bang for your buck.
It's almost one story, like the Amazing Spider-Man kind of fits in the middle of the Marvel Team Up issue.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, and once again, stay tuned after you hear the patented Lilith Hellfire thwip for more Ron Frenz, which we won't be getting for the next, I think it's the next 2 episodes or something, because, yeah, an Amazing 253 and 254 had, I think it was Rick Leonardi of Spider-Man 2099 fame doing the art, so.
2099 fame? Are we, okay.
Well, he did other things, but that's the first thing that pops into my mind when I hear Rick Leonardi is Spider-Man 2099. And we're on a Spider-Man podcast, Lil, if you know.
Okay, fair enough. We are on a Spider-Man podcast. As I like to remind people on Capes and Lunatics from time to time.
Charlie Esser? What? That's right. So, yes, next week we will be covering Amazing Spider-Man 253, the first appearance of the Rose, and Spectacular Spider-Man.
Not that anyone cares. Hey, are there any Rose fans out there? Like, honestly?
Seal?
Ooh! That comes from a terrible movie, so we're just going to pretend like you didn't say that.
I know. But yes, Amazing Spider-Man 253 and Spectacular Spider-Man 91 featuring the Blob. And then
The Blob.
Yes, and then followed the last week of the month by Spider-Man The Lost Years, number 1 through 3. That me and the boys did.
Sausage Fest!
That's right. You know it.
It's fine having a sausage fest.
They have a movie called Sausage Party. It's like terrible, disgusting. If you like SpongeBob, like an extremely like gross adult humor, you should check it out. But they do scream Sausage Party, so you should probably look for that drop. I'm sure if you looked on YouTube, you'd instantly find it. Just screaming
right.
Sausage Party.
Yes, I must look for that. Oh, but the whole thing with the rose, I think, was it this time I talked to Ron Frenz or the time before? He was saying, I guess, I don't know if DeFalco was playing with the thought that, like, he almost made Ned Leeds the rose and almost had Richard Fisk as the Hobgoblin. Yeah, spoilers. Yeah. Richard Fisk, the son of the Kingpin, is the rose. But yeah, he said he toyed with making Richard Fisk the Hobgoblin.
You know what? Somebody should still play with that idea, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Heck, I mean, do a what if.
Heck yeah.
All right, so should we get out of here?
Yes, sir.
All right, everyone. Again, next time, Amazing 253 and Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 91. So,
because you got to clarify.
That's true. So send your thoughts. Again, the list will. I'm putting the list up every month on what we cover on social media. So email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And again, follow all the Spider-Cast social media, Facebook, Twitter. Check out the YouTube for my whole conversation with Ron Frenz. Check out all of it. You can find it all in one convenient place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capesandlunatics. And remember to support the sponsors. Tweaked Audio, Hunt to Killer, Pod Life the book, now in digital and paperback. And the second volume of such is in the works already. So I know Tyler Patrick's working on his for the second volume.
Ooh.
Should get some little Hellfire and Charlie Esser in there. Anyway. But when you go to buy your periodicals on Amazon, which you know you do, and when you're buying your toilet paper on Amazon, because you know thanks coronavirus, there's no toilet papers in the store. Use the link in the show notes below for Southgate Media Group to send some money to the company to help bring you such fine quality programming as the Capes and Lunatics podcast, Ultimate Spider-Cast, the Quantum Zone, Comic Capers, basically anywhere where you can hear Lilith Hellfire say such things as...
It's fine having a sausage fest.
And...
Out of the gooch!
And Lilith Hellfire.
Also, don't tell Rob.
Gooch is a medical term. Lilith Hellfire.
Yes.
Where can people find you?
If you want to teach me new medical terms, please feel free to find me on Twitter via Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire 69.
Gobble gobble.
No.
Hello, Megan.
Teach her new medical terms. Anyway, again.
Okay, for you, Philip. Gooch is a medical term.
Yes! All right, I had to stop the music for that. All right, everyone. Again, wait for the whip. Listen to Ron Frenz and I discuss Amazing 252. And then come back next time with a rose for the blob. But until then, swing on back.
Thwip!
Alright, let's jump back to the, now let's talk about the symbiote, the, alien costume saga. Alright, so we'll start with Amazing 252. And that was like your second, second issue.
That was our second issue. 251 and 252 were both done off of plots by Roger Stern that he had turned in before he moved off the title, and scripted by DeFalco and penciled by me. 251 was done by Klaus Janson, which was an incredible opportunity to work with him. I really enjoyed that issue. 252 brought Brett Breeding on board. And, a lot of people think that was the big event for a new team coming on the book and everything, and then it just wasn't. I was hired to do 6 issues of Spider-Man while John Romita Jr. went off to do X-Men and got X-Men up and running and on schedule. Mm-hmm. Then he was planning on doing X-Men and Spider-Man. So I was only hired to do 6 issues while he took care of that. So 251, 252 were done by a fill-in team, basically. The introduction of the black costume was done by a fill-in team. What ended up happening pardon me, if you remember, is that 253 and 254 were done by Rick Leonardi.
Okay.
Written by Tom DeFalco and done by Rick Leonardi under two different inkers.
Yes.
And I didn't come on for the extended run until 255. And with that issue, it was Tom, plot, and script. It was me penciling and Rubenstein inking, and that ended up being the new team. Now, I don't know at what point all of this happened, but the story I heard is that John Romita Jr. came into Danny Fingerroth, who was the editor, came into Danny Fingerroth's office and was talking to Danny, and Danny said, so how's it going on X-Men? You are coming back, right? And he said, you seem to be happy with the guys you hired. You seem to be happy with what Falco and Frenz are doing. And Danny said, yeah, I think they're really clicking, but we're going to stick with the deal. If you want to stick with the deal, we're going to stick with the deal. And at that point, John Romita Jr. turned to Danny Fingerroth and said, you know what? Let him have it. I will stick. I got more than enough work to keep me busy on the X-Men. And, let these guys, if you're happy with these guys, keep them. And the first time I met John Romita Jr. at a convention, I thanked him very much for my run on Spider-Man. It was only supposed to be 6 months. It ended up being 2.5 years, and a couple of editorial changes and all that. But so 252 was basically done by a bunch of fill-in guys.
And so it wasn't like it wasn't like a big, like you said, it wasn't a big event planned for the new team, but I don't know, was it kind of nerve-wracking? It's like he just started on the book, and now you were the first penciler to draw the black suit.
Well, my stuff was the first stuff that was seen.
Yes.
Because of the way Secret Wars was set up, that was the first anybody had seen of it. And I didn't know anything about it. They were sending me plots, and they sent me a Xerox of a sketch by Mike Zeck of the new suit, and I thought it was a bad guy. I thought it was a new villain. And they said, no, that's Spider-Man's new costume. And for me, it was kind of funny because, pardon me, even with just the 6-issue thing, for me, as a fan of Spider-Man, it was crazy that I was getting a chance to work on The Amazing Spider-Man. But the whole punchline was, after waiting 25 years to finally draw Spider-Man, when I got there, he was wearing a different suit. So that was a little nuts. But once we got that all straightened out, it was very scary. I mean, this was, a lot of people look back on this through the lens of today, where they're always trying to come up with events and they're always trying to do new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And this was before all that. This was pre-internet. This was pre all of that. And what Shooter was trying to do was risky in that, he wanted something major to happen to all the main characters involved in Secret Wars, so people would be fascinated by those changes and be compelled to read the Secret Wars series to see how that happened,
Yeah.
But it was, nobody was sure it was going to work. Nobody was sitting there going, oh, we're all going to make a fortune on this, that kind of thing. In fact, we had been getting so much negative mail, snail mail, about changing Spider-Man's costume, that Jim Shooter came into Tom DeFalco's office at one point, and he said, when are you introducing the new suit? And he said 252. And he said, get rid of it in 253. Because we are getting such negative mail, this thing is going to bite us, and we just need to get rid of it. And what DeFalco's argument was, not that he was overly committed to the new suit or anything, but what Tom DeFalco's argument was, logically, was that he doesn't get the suit until like 8 months into Secret Wars. It was like issue 7 or 8, I think. I'm not sure.
Issue 8, yeah.
Yeah, so that one would correspond with more like Spider-Man 259 or 260. He said, so you can't have him get rid of the suit in Amazing before he gets it in Secret Wars. That's not playing fair with the readers,
Mm-hmm.
So Tom's argument was, we got to hang on to it at least until he gets it in Secret Wars. And Shooter had to agree with that. It was logical.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, fair enough. But the month after it debuts in Secret Wars, in Amazing Spider-Man, get rid of it. Which is what we did. Which was, that was the issue where he goes to the Fantastic Four and finds out that it's a symbiote and gets rid of it the first time. So that was the plan. what screwed up the plan was that the snail mail kept coming in after 252, and whereas everybody hated the idea of Spider-Man getting a new suit, once they saw it, they loved it.
Yeah.
So by the time we got to whatever it was, 258, 259, where we were already doing the story where we were getting rid of it, by the time we got there, the mail was overwhelmingly positive and everybody wanted to keep it, which is why they came up with the idea of Black Cat liking the design so much that she just makes a cloth version of it, which is what he was wearing in the Firelord story. So,
but I mean, 252 is a big issue. I mean, it's a great story when you you think there's not like a punch thrown in that issue. It's like,
no, it's a quiet story. Yeah, it's definitely a kind of an epilogue to Secret Wars, and it's about Peter Parker reconnecting with humanity, basically, with those two kids and his home of New York.
That was my question about 252. It's like, did they give you like spoilers ahead of time for Secret Wars? Because I know I know the Falco threw in that line about that time Galactus almost stepped on Spider-Man.
I don't know. Well, he was editing. DeFalco was editing Secret Wars, the first Secret Wars, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So he might have had inside information. I had none.
Okay.
I was working off of the designs of the costume. That was it. I had no idea. We weren't showing anything. We do the scene where Pete's in the dark room developing pictures from it, but I wasn't called upon to show anything. They wanted to make it as mysterious as possible.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because I was like, I'm sure they don't want to show the readers anything, but I didn't know if they told you anything.
No, I was working blind. My only concern was the thin focus on how it affected Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could say that costume was became a big thing. Venom and all that.
Oh, it was huge. It was ridiculously huge. I did a show. I think it was across the border in Canada when 252 was being released, and it was crazy, just crazy. The books were selling and then reselling at a huge markup. Probably not huge by today's standards, but huge by those days' standards. And the crowds were insane. It was one of the few times in my career at a comic book convention that we needed crowd control. My table was migrating from the people all pushed up against it and everything, and it was like crazy Beatles time. It was nuts.
Would you say you probably signed more copies of 252 than any other thing you've worked on?
Probably, certainly in the months in the months following the release of it, definitely. But even now, now I sign a lot of copies of it with the little windows cut into the plastic with the CGC stuff, which frankly I think is ridiculous, but nobody asks me what I think about that stuff.
Modern art.
It's just the idea of putting a comic book in plastic and never reading it again just makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah, I get that. I like to read them over and over. Okay.
Anyway,